stream podcasts, and sponsored by AudioQuest, Integra, and Golden Ear. 3 companies dedicated to bringing you great sound. I'm David.
And I'm Evie.
And she's back.
Yes, I am.
I'm back. 2-week hiatus. We'd like to welcome you guys to the podcast and say thanks for tuning in. The Little Guy Store is located at 19031 South Old LaGrange Road in Mokina, Illinois, just southwest of the city. Easy to get to right off of I-80, so come on out and check out the store. It's a fun place to just hang out. Lots of cool stuff.
It was right in the line of the lake effect snow showers.
Oh, a little bit of snow.
Yesterday.
The streets are clear now. Don't worry about it. You can contact us anytime at info@thelittleguys.com. And you can call us at the store, 708-754-8844. The store is open Monday through Thursday, 10 until 6, Friday and Saturday, 10 until 5, and we are closed on Sundays. We also make house calls. We're happy to come out and check out your equipment and see what's going on there and have that discussion there. It's kind of nice to get you into the store first, so you can kind of see some of the choices that are available and see some of the things that are in the marketplace and some of the new stuff. And but at the very least, let's have a conversation first, and then we'll figure it out. And if we should come out and do a walkthrough, we're happy to do it. Right? Sure.
I mean, a lot of times you're trying to integrate things that you currently have with new things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we'll let you know what is possible.
You got it. And I want to remind you to please follow us and like us. Or like us on Facebook. It's The Little Guys on Facebook.
It's not The Little Guys Store.
I don't think
it's
so.
How it used to be listed, as The Little Guys Store. Because there's The Little Guys Moving Company, apparently.
Deli.
And then there's a Little Guys Deli.
All of whom stole our name.
Absolutely.
Right, because we came up with it first, of course. But that's okay. We're nice guys. We're not litigious or anything. We don't let that stuff bother us. And lots of cool stuff. So, hey, I wanted to talk about a company that's kind of a little bit near and dear to our heart, and not just because we love the people who run the company and who work there, but because they're dedicated to high-performance audio and concerned about making sure people actually get the benefit of not just the convenience of getting their music through streaming process or accessing their files, but who can actually do it in high res. Right? I mean, that's pretty important. I mean, they're into it enough that was their priority, is making it sound good. And that's Bluesound, which is a company under the Lenbrook heading. And also NAD and PSB are their companies as well. So let's talk a little bit about the Bluesound streaming products. Let's start with the speakers.
Okay.
Right? They have a Flex, which is a kind of a small, not kind of, but it actually is a small portable, because you can get a battery pack to add to it, speaker that has built-in streaming capability. So you can, from a whole list of different services, including probably what's right now the industry standard, I think, is Spotify. It's kind of the one that everybody's pointing towards. Anybody who cares about fidelity and the sound of music, the quality of it, the Spotify is I believe the best service. I know that there's Pandora and millions of other ones out there or whatever, but Spotify really has a huge database of songs, and frankly, the highest res of anybody out there that's got the variety that they have. So, yes, you have to pay an extra $5 a month to have the high-res version, I guess, but well worth $20 a month. When you think about it, if you bought one CD a month, you're even, because you don't have to buy it anymore. So anyway, it streams those services. It accesses your files and your music that's stored on any hard drive that's on your network, on the same network that it is on, that is in your house. And it sounds great. I mean, it does not sound like a little, I should have brought one with me, 5 inches wide by 8 inches high. It doesn't sound like a little kind of portable type speaker. It really does sound good.
It's
on its
amazing.
own.
It's amazingly good for the
size.
Size. It's really a small one.
Then they make two bigger versions. They're called the Pulse and the Pulse Mini. The Pulse is like listening to an actual hi-fi system. I mean, it has detail and clarity and imaging and separation. It's amazing. It's better than some small speakers and some small cheap receiver or whatever. I mean, it really sounds good. It's got the fidelity, the detail. It does all the streaming stuff, just like the other pieces, the other one I just told you about. But it's a wider, kind of looks like a center channel, kind of a thing. Comes in white or black, and sounds amazing. And then there's a mini version of that, which also sounds really good for like somewhere where you have less space, right? Somewhere where you need to just kind of put it, that kind of a thing. And it really does sound good. And these things operate independent. You don't have to have a receiver. You don't have to have subwoofers. You don't have to have anything else to go with them. They operate independent.
Because they have the speakers and the amplifiers
in
them.
And they work on your network, right? They live on your network,
yes.
and that's where they get their information. By the way, you can also Bluetooth to them from your phone or your tablet or whatever else you're Bluetoothing from. You can Bluetooth to them as well. So that's a really cool...
right, or your friends are over and they have something on their phone that, maybe you've never heard before, or they're excited, they want you to hear, then you can just Bluetooth right to it.
Yeah, these are great, relatively affordable office products, kitchen products, bedroom, bathroom, somewhere you need to put some music and you want to have the choices, just sound great. I mean, really, really sound good. And then they also make a huge variety of choices that you can adapt to an existing system. So a server, a streamer, that is also a headphone amplifier and a Bluetooth receiver and can take an auxiliary input. So if you wanted to plug another device into it, you could do that as well. And then it hooks up to your one version. It's called the Node 2. Hooks up to your existing system, to your stereo system or however else you're listening to music in your house, through standard either analog or digital outputs, and goes directly to that. And then it also gives you all the capability of streaming most of the music services, doing tune-in radio, listening to all the radio stations just about in the world. There's so many choices out there. Good catch, David. So many choices out there in terms of radio stations, and tune-in radio has a real basic service that's got most of the radio stations in the country and lots of them throughout the world, and then has a more deluxe service where it includes like MLB and other packages, kind of a thing. So that's really cool. And all those things are streamable through your system now. They're all easily accessible. By the way, all these products operate on a Bluesound app. It is a free app. You can put it on as many phones and tablets or computers as you please. And it's super, super intuitive. Very simple, very easy to operate. You can have multiple devices. They all work on the same app. You can run them independently, or you can group them together so that they all are playing the same thing if you want them to.
So now a Node doesn't have an amplifier in it.
Correct.
And it doesn't have speakers in it. This is something you would hook up to your existing system?
Correct. And
okay.
it could be it's a small box. It's 7 inches. I'm making this up. It's about 7 inches wide and about 3.5, 4 inches tall. Very simple, and that same 7 inches deep. It's a very simple, extremely well built, extremely well designed little box that really does a lot of stuff. And by the way, it has the ability to stream in high res, as opposed to some of the other boxes and devices that are out there that only do low res or mid res, let's call it.
Yeah, mid res.
So really an exceptional piece. We like to hardwire them into every system we do, as opposed to doing them Wi-Fi, but they can also be Wi-Fi if you really insist on it. But it's silly not to just get a wire to it and plug it in. Really cool box. Now, they make this same exact box. It's called the Node 2 amplifier. amplified.
Isn't it called Power Node?
Power Node, that's what it's called.
Power Node 2.
It escaped me for the moment. It's a Power Node 2, and it does all those same things, but it's got an amplifier built into it, so it can directly power a pair of speakers. And it can be a pretty good sized pair of speakers. It's a really good amplifier.
Yeah.
Sounds exceptional. We have it set up with a real nice set of bookshelf speakers, but I've seen applications where we run some outdoor rock style speakers with it, where you run some speakers that are attached to the sides of the house, speakers that are in an office, for example. It also has a headphone jack on it, so it's a headphone amplifier as well, and it also has an auxiliary input on it. So if you want to plug in a local TV or a CD player or some other device locally, you can as well. Exceptional. Again, all the same features, all the same high-res stuff, all controllable by an app, which is really, really cool. So, I mean, again, not only do you have the convenience of streaming all of your music, of getting access to music that's on your files somewhere in the house, on a computer, somewhere on that network, but you also have just a little powerhouse amplifier that can run a good set of bookshelf speakers, and again in high res. So you get, and high res means it's the higher fidelity. It really sounds good. It has the ability to get the higher res information off of the streaming services.
So it's like having your receiver and your CD player and your radio, all those things in one little box, because you're accessing your radio through TuneIn. And by the way, if you listen to AM stations in anywhere in the Chicagoland area where it's you're always hearing that static, the TuneIn comes in nice and clear.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
And it makes me not go insane from all the static on the other AM stations.
So it's pretty cool or whatever. So that's the Power Node 2. My absolute favorite box or device that they have, a component, is the Vault. And the Vault is a full streaming device. It's got the headphone jack. It does all the things the other ones do. Plus, it's no amplifier built in. It's a CD ripper. So you can pop your CD in. 7 to 10 minutes later, it'll pop back out when it's done. It will copy it onto its internal hard drive, which is 2 terabytes. And also, it will go out and find all the metadata, which is the album cover, the lists of songs, and all those kind of things. And they will all populate on your Bluesound app. So you'll be able to see all those. And then you can sort all those CDs that you've now ripped onto the hard drive. You can sort them by artist, by genre, by the album covers, if you want to do it that way. You can look at them by lots of different choices. And all of that music is now stored on your hard drive, which, by the way, is just another network hard drive. So if you still want to rip some stuff from your computer, you can rip it right to that drive as well. And all your music can be focused and centered in one spot. And we like to sell a little backup hard drive with that. It's a little backup unit that once you start putting all your CDs on there, over time, it ends up being a lot of time invested. And if you have a little backup hard drive, just can save you a lot of aggravation down the road, God forbid.
Right. So in case you get rid of your physical CD collection,
Yeah.
or, you've got it stored away and you just don't want to go through
Yeah.
recording it all over again.
It's just nice to have that little backup. It's a $150 investment, and it can save a lot of heartache and a lot of aggravation. So as we all know in the computer world, once in a while, it doesn't happen often. And truthfully, I can't think of a Vault one that we've had any serious issues. So over the years, as many Vaults as we've sold, maybe we had one where a drive actually failed. It's just nice to have that backup there and not have to worry about it. So that's the Vault, and that's an awesome piece for people, because you have these hundreds of CDs stacked up, and the way I do it is I stack a bunch of CDs next to the Vault, and every once in a while when I'm walking by, I just pop one in. I've never actually sat down for hours on end and loaded CDs, although you certainly can. I've never actually done that. I've actually just, as I'm walking by, I pop one in, and over time, my collection has gotten into our Vault. Although my collection was limited relative to yours.
Well,
my 12 discs from 1970.
The complete works of Alice Cooper.
And John Denver and Gordon Lightfoot.
Well, those are mine, but you like those.
So, the fact is, it's a really cool thing. It hooks up to your existing stereo system, and gives you access to all the stored files and stored music. And it's really cool. I mean, it just makes so much sense. And you don't have to be a computer person. You don't have to know about computers.
You don't have to deal with your computer at all.
You don't have to deal with it at all. You don't have to deal with any of that. It's right there. Put the CD in the slot, and you're good to go.
And out of the box, it records in the same resolution as your CD is.
Correct.
And then apparently there's some setting you can make if you want to dumb it down and fit more music on there. But 2 terabytes, that's a lot of space.
Thousands and thousands of songs.
But you can down res the whole thing and fit more on there.
Don't tell them.
No, you're better off.
We don't want them to know.
You're better off having
just do it the right way so it sounds
quality,
really good.
High quality music.
The problem with squashing the music, with compressing the music, is it loses all its emotion. You lose the feel, where some singers make the hair on your arm stand up, or just give you that feel of it. Whether it's sadness or happiness or just makes you smile. When you crush the music like that, it loses that. It loses that specialness. The artists hate it. They truly hate it. They feel like you're not hearing what they've created, right? It's like watching a huge action movie on a 4-inch screen with a little speaker inside of it or whatever,
which people are doing.
You don't get the performance out of it. You don't get to enjoy it, and that's how music should be. So the more high res you can do, the better off you are. That's for sure. They also make something new for them, and this thing took, was it 2 years? It's almost been 2 years that we've been talking about it. It's a sound bar. Right, a lot of people are adding sound bars to their TVs now because, as we've talked about a million times, flat panel TVs sound bad.
Right. And well, maybe you have a full system in your media room, family room, or even have a big theater. There's always additional TVs in the house.
Right.
And they don't have any good sound either. So adding a sound bar, and this is so you can add the sound bar and actually get sound for your TV. But you also have the Bluesound capabilities where you can that can be your streaming device in that room.
You got it, and it's got the speakers and the amplifier all built in, so you have a self-contained soundbar style unit that again has beyond exceptional sound, true fidelity. I mean, imaging and detail and soundstage like you've never heard from anything that's been called a soundbar yet. It is over the top, exceptional. We put it on in the store, and people are looking around for the big speakers. And we have it in a big open area of the store where it's moving a lot of air. And we do it. We'll talk about their subwoofer in a minute. We do it without the sub, and it just sounds amazing. It's true fidelity. So all your music, all the streaming capabilities, all the ability to hook up your television right into it, and have the benefits of a soundbar with streaming and the rest. And yes, it also has Bluetooth. So you can Bluetooth to it from your tablet or phone or whatever, however you're getting your music, however you're storing your music other than that. So really cool. If you have a vault, then it can see the vault, right? It can see the hard drive and the vault and get the music from there, as can any of the other devices we've talked about. All right. And then they also have a cool subwoofer that hooks up to or in conjunction with that soundbar, and it's wireless, and it's small, physically not a giant box, not a big, monstrous subwoofer, but it has very deep bass. It kind of blew us away because we were afraid that because it's relatively inexpensive, the soundbar is $9.99 and the subwoofer is I think $5.99, and we were afraid that because the woofer was a less expensive sub, that it wouldn't have the tightness to it, but it does. Leave it to Paul Barron to create and design devices that give you the fun and flexibility of accessing all your music, getting great sound off of the TV, and packing all that wallop into a small box sub. I mean, it really helps accentuate the process for sure. It's pretty cool, really, really cool. And they also make something that they just came out with that we've been testing here, and that Tom actually has been testing here in the store, and that is a 4-zone Bluesound box. So there's literally 4 Bluesound devices built into one rack mount piece, one component. So you can run 4 different rooms and have different things playing in each room. So you can stream 4 different things. Each person can pull out their app and get into something different off of that same single box. I think it's called a CI 580, and it's awesome. And we were playing with it the other day. You can also have it. You can hook up the doorbell to it, and it's got 4 different doorbell rings tones built into it.
Depending on what room you're in.
Six. Sorry, Tom. 6 different doorbell tones built into it, and you can actually have it ring a different tone in each room if you want. But it's really
now,
cool.
Can you assign a ringtone to different people?
No.
So if you know whether
Does
they
not
answer
know who
this
it is
door
at the
or not.
We need a biometric fingerprint doorbell or whatever, some kind of.
No, but you can put a different ringtone in each room.
Yeah, so each room could have its own ringtone or whatever. If somebody doesn't like that ding, 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 that one that goes like for a long time, that sounds like you're in a mansion in the 60s or something. if they don't like that one, there's other ones on there. There's some pretty annoying ones, but there's other ones on there.
So here's a scenario where you would have that type of a thing. You have speakers throughout your house. You have televisions, music systems, whatever, throughout the house. But all the equipment is maybe it's in the basement or it's in sort of a closet in a big rack. So this equipment that's in the basement or in a rack somewhere is running the whole house. It's not like you have something in each room.
Right.
So in this case, you would have this four
zone
amplified thing to play throughout your house. It's not like you'd put 4 of them in the kitchen.
No. It's one box, one slim box, and it just goes into the however you're distributing that music. It is really cool. I mean, it really is. It's a smart idea. It's an idea we've talked about a lot with them. Instead of having 4 boxes and going through all that nonsense, it's all working together. Again, you can group them, you can do them individually, you can use it however you want to use it. So it's 4 sources, 4 independent sources from one single box. And very small, physically small. So a really cool device. Bluesound continues to oh, by the way, high-res music. Bluesound continues to, for me, set the bar pretty high. I mean, they're focused on high performance in distributed music with streaming capability. That's a big deal. We've all kind of come to accept, for some reason, squashed music, a music with no fidelity, just for the sake of convenience, using cheap amps to make speakers just play, that kind of thing. Why not have a good amplifier that makes a speaker sound good? Why not have better speakers? Why not make it be better? I mean, it just totally makes sense. And whether those speakers are in the ceiling, in the walls, bookshelf, on a floor stand, or on the floor, tower type speakers, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that you have the flexibility and the ease of use, quick access to all of your music, and high fidelity. Get back to the high fidelity part of it. I mean, it makes a big deal. On the little office one, I forgot to mention this, on the power node, we have a lot of people who actually get a little phono preamp and plug their turntable into it. So in their office, they can play their records. So they have the romantic aspect of playing an LP, picking it up and holding it and looking at the cover and looking at all the stuff. And I mean, that we all grew up with. It means nothing to the millennials, but actually they're into LPs as well. But they've revived the whole LP.
Right. They're the ones who actually revived it.
But it's really cool. So you can actually plug a turntable into it with the right phono preamp as well. So a lot of flexibility. Bluesound and Lenbrook in general dedicated to high performance audio, making sure that you get the benefit of great sound and great flexibility. They make a lot of that's kind of the full Bluesound line, but they also make a lot of great products under the NAD heading, little integrated amplifiers that are vertical as opposed to horizontal, that are vertical and have small amps built in and headphone jacks on them, and they make a lot of DACs that are that way and a lot of other devices. And then they still make a full line of integrated, full, regular component style amplifiers, but starting at as little as like $399. So do they have $1,500 ones and $3,000 and $5,000? Yes, they do. but they also have totally affordable, simple to use, integrated amps, and that's kind of become the way. It's not receivers at that level anymore. It's integrated. It's because everybody's not using the tuner that was built into the radio anymore, so the receiver part is not that big of a deal. They're using the streaming device to stream their radio stations. So it's just not necessary to have a tuner built in. And by the way, it is so much better to listen to AM without all the crackliness and the noise and the interference and stuff that happens, to just have it stream over the internet. And the state, I haven't found a station yet that's not on there, or that you don't have the ability to get, even if TuneIn doesn't have it, that you don't have the ability to get somehow. So a lot of cool stuff. NAD continues to focus again on high performance audio, making sure that the sound is good, making sure that you have the best possible sound at the price point for your specific component. The separate amplifiers and preamplifiers at the more affordable price points, and then taking it to the Master Series, which get to be a little bit more expensive, but are extreme high performance audiophile quality with great DACs built in and great preamps and phono sections and just really, really high performance audio. And then they take it into the theater world too. They make those same Master Series theater components, whether they're amplifiers or preamp processors, now with the addition of Dolby Atmos and HDMI 2.2 switching and those kind of things. So a lot of really, really cool stuff from a company relatively small, right? Compared to the big guys. They're not the size of some of these bigger corporations, but they run smooth. They're good people. They stand behind their products. The Bluesound division has the best 800 number or 888 number that I've ever dealt with ever. I mean, when you call there, you actually talk to somebody, and they bring up that product and they hook it up and they're working with it while they're talking to you. So they're duplicating, your movements and they really will patiently walk you through the process and make sure you understand it all. And when it's new stuff. It's the streaming concept, the storing music, the having access to it on an app. It takes a little while to get comfortable with. And there's constant updates to the app to make it even better and more interactive and smoother, and to add on other streaming services and things like that as well. So a lot of really cool stuff from a small company that the little guys has been doing business with for a long time. We love the people at the top, and we love the people working in the factory. They're all just good people working hard and making great products. And we're proud to be associated with Lenbrook and the NAD, the Bluesound, and by the way, PSP speakers are theirs as well. And the PSP speakers, just really, again, well built, well designed, well engineered. Some of the best cabinetry I've ever seen on the top three models. What's that series called? The not Imagined.
It is Imagine.
It is Imagine.
It was like it's completely left me.
So it's Imagine. The PSP Imagine series. That cabinetry is.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And you're forgetting one other thing from NAD.
Oops.
PSP, which is our number one selling headphone.
That's for sure. Headphones that sound like speakers. Tom's using a pair right now on his to monitor with. They have noise canceling. They have a little booster amp in them. And by the way, for those of you who travel, if the batteries die, they work.
I'm going to adjust these so they'll fit my
There you
head,
go.
because Tom's head is much bigger.
Except now you're hearing yourself 2 seconds behind.
So, super comfortable. They fold up.
Yeah, they are great.
Fold up.
They are really comfortable.
I said they fold up.
Oh, you want me to fold them up? All right, I will fold them up. How do they fold up? Oh, like that.
They fold up, so if you're traveling, they're easy to deal with. The headphone jack can go into either side of the phone, and they do have the iPhone compatible microphone so that you can use them while you're talking on the phone as well, or if a phone call comes in, you can just take the call. Anyway, really cool, really comfortable. One of my absolute favorite headphones, and been doing them for a long, long time. I've been using them, even though I've tried dozens and dozens, as Evie will attest to, because they're stacked up all over the place.
Yeah,
Of other
littered with headphones.
I'm a sucker for headphones. I can't stop trying different ones. But I always go back to my PSPs for traveling and for long-term, like playing in a poker tournament. I'll put on the PSPs because they're comfortable and they block out the outside sounds because of the noise canceling is exceptional. So I'm glad you reminded me. So what happens when a performance-oriented company focuses on something like headphones? Instead of just getting a cool gold shiny box or a flashing lighted cord, that kind of a thing, or something that just boom 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 just has punch and bass and no fidelity whatsoever, no imaging. When a company that's focused on high performance audio and cares about the design and the outcome, that's what happens when they build headphones.
Yeah. My favorite thing about Lenbrook in this day and age is that they had the ambition to create Bluesound. I mean, there were streaming music devices out there, and they were all low res, but they were becoming very popular. And Lenbrook said, well, can't we do that with high res? Can't we, have the same thing?
Let's not be a Me Too company.
Have it sound better. And for a little company like that, I mean, their research and development is the money they have to spend must be outrageous.
It's crazy.
But they did it. They did it.
To what most companies would spend, they spend on research and development, engineering, design, and great customer service. That's for sure. So, I did not mean to turn this into a Lenbrook commercial, but we really do love doing business with them. We really love how they take care of us and our customers, and we love that they're focused on high performance. Right? I mean, that they care enough to build a product that lasts a long time. And there's a lot of old NADs out there that still work and are still performing and still in the marketplace. By the way, some of the cool stuff about their electronics, for example, their Master Series preamp processor came out without Dolby Atmos and without HDMI 2.2 because that wasn't around at the time, right? But now, instead of saying, well, you have to buy the new model, they make cards and boards that can go in them or onto them that add those features. So you don't have to replace the whole thing. You don't have to. It doesn't become outdated. They're about keeping their customers current and giving them the latest features and capabilities. So you got to love that.
Yeah, that's really incredibly cool important with the way technology improves so fast. Yeah. This is like crazy fast. Where your Apple iPad that you feel like you just got a couple of years ago is like, well, we no longer support that. It's too old.
All right, let's not start the Apple debates on that thing. We're going to get all the Apple people calling and complaining. All right, so.
The Apple people.
Come on in. I'm one of them. I get it. All right, so you got to join the club. You got to be in the Apple club. Be willing to pay a little bit more for a little bit less, and then you get stuff that works. All right, so that's my brief Apple description. I apologize to those dedicated Apple people. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to us. And again, we invite you to come out to the store, check it out. It's a fun place to hang out. It's a fun place to shop. There's a lot of cool stuff. You can check us out at thelittleguys.com. You can email us at info@thelittleguys.com. And you can call the store 708-754-8844. The store is located at
19031 South Old LaGrange Road, which is basically 191st and LaGrange Road.
Mokina.
In Mokina, if you're coming south on LaGrange Road. So you get off at 80, coming south on LaGrange Road. You go to the stoplight down at the bottom of the hill, 191st Street. You turn left. And left again, right between the Denny's and the White Castle, and there we are.
And you'll see the store straight ahead. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and we are out of here.
Bye-bye.